Estoy grabando, chicos.
Después Lea lo edita.
Ok.
Make some questions. Sure. Probably if you eat 4 or 5. Is that alright for you?
Yes, of course.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
What attracts you to begin an actor? Let's start with you.
Focus.
Quite a question. Well, I started acting when I was in high school. I joined the drama club at my school, and I think what kept me there was the community of people. It was a very, very tight group of friends, and from there it just became something that was always very important to me.
Where was it?
In Florida, in the United States.
Alright. I think you're gonna make the second one.
Oh,
What's your
okay.
name?
Ethan.
Ethan. Alright. How has the audience influenced your performance?
That's actually very fun. As Galileo, I make a lot of what we call breaking the fourth wall, and I talk directly to the audience. So it really makes a difference for me every day how excited the audience is or how much they want to interact, because from the very start of the show, I'm trying to get them to do things. So if we have a really tired audience, it changes things completely. If we have an audience that really wants to interact, it makes it really fun.
Okay.
Lucas.
Lucas explotó. Okay. What
Come
do
on,
you-
Lucas, come on.
What do you consider when choosing your place?
When choosing your
When
place,
choosing, yes.
it's many things. To begin with, the cast you're with, because the team is everything when you do a play. It's the people with which you share most of the days, and that's important. Most of the times also, where is it? Because if it's far away from your house, you cannot go. If you have time available to do the show, and especially the message it gives also. Like every play has a message, and every play has a different language that if you're interested of what the story is trying to tell you, then you want to do that play. And if that feeling is big, you just won't care about the rest, and you will fight for that history to be in your body and play that role, I guess.
Okay. Another one?
Yes.
How much time do you rehearse?
Rehearse. How much time do you rehearse? A lot.
We actually, it tends to be a little personal. First, we receive the material. So we have the script and the music, and our own time we memorize it. And then we come together, usually between a week to 2 weeks, sometimes as little as 4 days. And we try to put everything together, connect everything that we've been working on our own together. And then a lot, especially with shows like this, a lot of the final rehearsal happens on the road.
Okay.
Every time we perform, we try to make it
To change it.
tighter and tighter and better. So by the time the show has been up for maybe a month, we're really prepared.
Okay.
Bueno, what does acting mean to you?
Well, I think that for me, the thing that I love the most about acting is that it's storytelling, right? And storytelling is our most ancient human way of communicating and exploring what in English we call the human condition. Why are we here? What the hell are we doing on this planet, you know? So for me, that's what acting is really about, is exploring what it is to be a human being.
How do you choose who will you play each role?
I don't choose.
The director.
I don't choose.
You go where the work is.
Yeah, for most of the jobs I've ever had, unless I was making it myself, I didn't get to choose.
Okay.
What was the biggest audience you have performed in front of?
In theater, I think it was a theater in Córdoba, which is Ciudad de las Artes, because it's a theater that is basically from the University of the province of Córdoba, and so it has like 500 or 600 seats. So I think that with Art Spot, at least, that's the biggest theater I've ever performed. Yeah.
All right. That's a little difficult for you. Tell me about the time when you had difficulties
Yes.
playing a role. Which one was it? Why was it challenging for you?
I'm going to answer this in a little different way, maybe not exactly the answer you want, but I think every role at some point comes with difficulties. I think especially a show like this that we do so often and every day comes with difficulties. Sometimes it's very beautiful to get to play the role, but sometimes maybe you don't feel as good. Maybe you're sad or you're angry or whatever, and you still have to play a role that is very far away from what you're feeling that day. So sometimes I think that's even more difficult than playing a specific role. There's many techniques always to find a way to be able to play a role, whether it's your voice or your body. I think the hardest part comes when your emotions aren't matching up. So some days we come and we do the show and it's really amazing, but some days it's really hard to bring that energy if your own energy is very low.
I'm going to insist with the question.
Sure.
Have you any memory of one day that you had that?
Sure. In college, we were given a lot of difficult roles to play, and when I was in college, I was about 20 years old, and I was asked to play an old play where playing an old man. The character's supposed to be 50 years old, and as a 20-year-old, I found it very, very difficult to understand what a 50-year-old person is like, what their body is like, what their experience is like, because I felt so young. And so it was really, really hard to try to figure out what is it like to have so many years of experience when you feel like you're just starting to live your own life.
But now you're close.
Now I'm close. now I'm much older. So if I feel like if I had to play it now, it'd be much easier. But then it was so hard because, you know, especially I'm always playing really young roles, and all of a sudden they're like, you're going to play this very old man, 50 years old, with all this stuff.
50 is that old?
Come on, I'm 5 to get there. I'm almost.
Consider it old, but I did. And so it was very difficult.
Okay, thank you. I'm very happy now with your answer.
Who designs your costume?
And scenery. Scenery is the word for.
The woman who makes our costumes is named Alicia Gentil, and she's one of the owners of our company, and she designs them all. She sews them by hand.
Ah, yes.
By hand.
She's from Buenos Aires.
Okay.
And the
I mean,
whole
I'm sure she uses
thing,
a sewing machine at some point, but
the artists, they paint.
Yes, I don't
Scenery.
remember the name of the actual artist. All of this was either hand drawn or done on a computer and then printed large
Yes.
at a
Okay.
station. But does anyone remember the name of the teammate that drew that? Because it wasn't Pablo. This
No, I
time.
think it's Romina.
Romina.
Romina, it's
Okay. Another girl from here.
Yes, she's a visual artist, and so she creates all this on the computer.
It's
and
beautiful.
then it's printed by a
It's
printer.
beautiful.
Much more easy than before, isn't it?
Yeah. Before it actually used to be hand painted. Back in the day, they used to paint every single set, but now it's all done on a computer.
What do you like the most about the theater?
About theater. About theater. I think the thing that I like most about theater itself is that it, first of all, like what she said, it's the same thing humans have been doing for 10,000 years,
Yes.
at least. And it's really cool to be part of that ancient tradition. And at the same time, there's something that movies and television can't match when you watch someone do something live. There's an added sense of skill on just the performer that isn't there in TV and film. In TV and film, half of your performance is done by the editor, so you don't have control over any of that. But in theater, it's all down to you and how well you've prepared and how well you've been trained. So I think that feels more like being an athlete than sometimes in TV and film when you do your part and then you hope it comes out okay.
To anyone, do you have disciplines that you prefer? Like I love dancing, I love singing, or just act, or you like musical? To anyone.
Well, I really love doing straight plays in theater and to do musicals.
Okay.
I think that somehow I still like making films and doing television a little bit more. 'Cause we also-
Did you do films?
Yes, we've done independent film, or I've done independent film. We made
And
a
TV?
film together. We're working on a second film now,
Ah,
and we've both done TV. So it's like all that.
okay.
So you know the difference between
One
being
thing
on a
and a
TV
TV
set
set.
and doing theater.
Yes.
Oh yeah, very different.
Very
Very
different.
different.
And you?
Me?
What do you prefer?
Theater.
Theater.
I've been raised since I was a kid in theaters. I've done a lot of musicals at school. I prefer straight theater, like normal plays. I don't know if normal is the word, but
Classic. No, it's
Cla-
not classic. No, I don't know.
we understood. from
Yes,
the
yes.
text.
Not
But
singing,
the
not
thing is,
dance. No.
also, I've been working on TV for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
And
You will work on TV.
yeah, but it sounds more fashionable than what it is. That's why I say I prefer theater, because of what Ethan just said. The thing that you show it live every day makes every day different. While in TV, maybe you have to show that you're sad or you're happy, but you have the cameras that are, I mean, the cameraman can be in a different mood, or the people around are just in another mood, and you have to get isolated from that climate and create another thing. While in theater, you create the energy, and the energy you create, it matches with the energy of the crowd, and it creates an entire new thing that is another experience, another human experience, and has another impact, in my opinion.
Okay.
I agree with you.
I'm gonna go to playing all the ways I'm gonna be asking you forever. What sort of acting roles will you be seeking in the future?
For myself, I think that I'm moving more in a direction of trying to do work that helps change people's minds in my home country. So my home country has a lot of problems right now, and the United States.
Okay.
We have a lot of problems there at the moment, and the best way to change people's minds is through stories. That's why propaganda normally happens in films or posters, stories. So the best way to help change people's minds and make my country a little bit more rational and sane than it has been in the last couple of years is
I
to
mean,
do.
you're already fanatic of Trump.
Yeah, so much.
Maybe you don't like
They
it.
think the same about their country.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So
So, but I'd like to use the roles that I take and the stories that we create together to change those things for the better. So that's going to be my main focus, is picking things that are going to help change things for the better.
Right.
Okay.
Have you been to other countries besides Argentina? Which are?
Yes, a lot.
Oh yeah, many countries.
Do you have a list?
We do.
So where did we start this year?
Bahrain.
We started in Bahrain. We went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Turkey. Then we took a few weeks in Greece. Now we're here in Argentina. We're headed to Chile and Colombia and Mexico soon.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. We went to Taiwan last year. What else? Oh, Uruguay.
Yes.
We took a stop in Japan and Vietnam.
Wow.
Yeah. Too many to remember them
All of
all.
that in less than a year.
All of
Yes.
that
in less than a
Did you
year.
eat insects?
Yeah. Or I guess in exactly 1 year.
Did you eat insects?
Yes, in
Tijuana.
Mexico, we went to Guadalajara.
Yes.
And we were fortunate enough to be in Guadalajara for Day of the Dead when they were cleaning the graves. And there was a very nice vendor there selling spicy crickets.
Yes.
So I ate a bag of
And you
spicy-
tasted?
They were very good.
They were
I've
good.
tried
Bad.
it. I've tried it in China.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
How did you like it?
Yeah, well, it wasn't that bad. I think
It could be worse.
Scorpion.
You ate a scorpion?
You're braver than me.
I wouldn't dare
Did
to do
you?
that.
Leo, yes?
yeah, and I have been filmed when I did it.
Yes. But not the whole thing. I mean, in a restaurant with the.
No,
like what?
in the street.
Where?
In the streets.
In the
It's
streets.
quite normal.
Yes.
In a food truck.
In a stand.
In a food truck.
Yeah, no,
Night market.
yeah, and also in the supermarket, if you go to this brand.
He lived in London,
you have
so-
in the States, it's a brand called Macro. Okay, it's in Argentina and also there is some in China. And they sell it in the freezers there. You can just have a bag.
You grab a bag of insects.
Yeah, so I like it. pretty normal.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yes. Do you find it difficult to be away from home?
Yeah, well, Ethan and I at this point have been.
You
on
live
the road.
together?
Yes, yes, we're engaged.
yes.
We're getting
Oh my
married next year.
So
One step.
one more step.
One more step.
So we've been on the road now for a year straight, and we're starting to get a little homesick. You know, sometimes I miss it a lot at home, and then other times you're so overwhelmed with how wonderful the travel is that you don't think about it. But yes, it can get a little
Difficult.
yeah.
I've been a while around and also I know what the feeling is.
Yeah, you know, you miss your family.
At the same time, when you're away from home, which is not my case now because I'm
You're from here?
Yes.
Yes.
But I've been touring for a couple of months abroad.
Altogether?
With them, yes. Altogether, we've been in Turkey, Bahrain, the Arab Emirates, and so on. And the thing is, although you feel far away from home, also that allows you to feel everything in a more like intense way. Because as you're away from your comfort zone, you just need to be open to what happens, and you start to trust in everyone because you're alone. So you make interesting unions with the or matches with the people you meet in the supermarket, the taxis, the people in the hotels, people you meet
That
in
is
the
beautiful,
tours.
yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes,
That's
beautiful.
The
it.
human
And how did you
contact.
learn English?
I
You
went,
study or you just
I studied.
learn by chance?
I lived in Formosa when I was a baby,
Ah,
then
yes.
in Paso de los Libres, Corrientes,
Yes. Oh.
next to Brazil, and then I lived in Buenos Aires for 20 years. And so I went to a bilingual school where I lived, and so, I mean, after 12 years of bilingual school, if you don't speak in English,
Yes.
your
You're a
parents
donkey.
just
You,
threw the
you
money
didn't
away.
learn anything.
You're an asshole.
Okay, so I think that would be it because people is arriving. So people are arriving, so it's 6 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Trabajo que engancha.
You learn to work together.